Hello, so I'm Kelly Falbrook. This is my new channel. You might have seen me doing some orgonite testing with plaster on my first video, but I'm not just going to be doing how to or how not to videos, but also talking about taboo subjects, because it's something people don't like touching on. So this is a really dark subject. This one is about demons. Now, I am more than aware that there's a lot of people out there who are Christian who would say I'm talking rubbish, I don't know what I'm talking about, or they would acknowledge there are demons as there are angels, but they would see everything in a godlike way, like biblical. So I'm not a Christian. I was brought up a Christian. It never resonated with me. I tried so hard to please God. I tried so hard to be a good Christian girl and all this, but honestly failed big time, because I have a massive guilt complex, or I did. I had a massive guilt complex, and I think religion does that to people, and I think it makes you feel seriously bad about yourself. I'm never good enough. I need Jesus to help me and God, because without them I'm nothing. I don't buy that, honestly. So I appreciate everyone's got their own belief system, and that's fine. And I know of a lot of Christian people, and I respect their views. That's up to them. Ignore the dogs. When I'm talking, they always want to play. Baby girls, I'm talking on here. He wants to play. So yeah, I respect everybody's point of view, even atheists, whoever. Believe what you want to believe, that's it. I'm talking about my own personal things here. So, demons. Very, very horrible. But anyway, when I was growing up, I was really psychic. I used to just know things, but I could never say why. If somebody says to me, how do you know that this is going to happen, or how do you know I'm feeling that way when I'm not telling you? I don't know. I just sense things. I'm not as open as I was. As a child, I was very much so. But now, not really. It comes to me every now and again, something will hit me like a thunderbolt and be like, oh my gosh, wow. I don't see ghosts, generally, but I sense them. If there's a presence here in this room, I will feel it, and I will... And I can also communicate with them telepathically as well, by thought alone. So I might not necessarily see something, but I can sense it. There's so many subjects I could talk about with this, so many, but I'm just going to keep it to this one. So demons. There's this really funny thing that we have about demonic things. You always think a demon comes as a big scary thing like this, and it's there to terrify you. And I can tell you from my own personal experience that sometimes they come disguised as angels, beautiful people, great friends, positive things. And it's only when you look into the eyes and you get to know them, you can see it. You can see it, because I look right into the eye, and it's looking into the soul. And I'm telling you now, there's a lot of fake things out there. You think is positive, is not. And the funny thing is, I've been shown beautiful things, and I thought, oh wow, yeah, the angels or the spirit guides or whatever, and it's not at all. It's a negative, and it's to mislead me. But I have met what you may describe as a demon, and they have come at me a few times now, and one thing that I've learned is not to be scared of them. Fear gives them power. If you're not scared, they shrink away. Now, some of them are stronger than others, like people, they've got different personalities, and some of them are very, very foreboding. They are scary. And you can feel like they're pulling you into them as well, and dragging you in. And they get you when you're feeling down. They get you when you're ill. They get you when your defences are low. And this is why it's important to try and keep your vibrations high. Now, I'm going to link demons now with alcoholism and depression. You can say whatever you want. I'm talking about myself. When I was young, I used to drink. And I'm talking only for a space of a couple of years when I was a teenager. And when I drank, I got attachments to me. And I would behave in a ridiculously horrible way and not even remember. And once I became aware of it, I stopped drinking like that because I was scared. I thought, I don't want this, because I was brought up by an alcoholic and it was frightening. I used to see him change. I used to see a demon go into him. At a certain point of his drinking session, I would see him change and his eyes would just sharpen, his features would sharpen, and I would see it, and it was frightening as a child. When I suffer from depression, which is not often, I get stressed and I get moody, but I don't often get depressed. Depression's a different thing. Depression is a much lower frequency than stress for me. When I'm stressed, I can function. When I'm depressed, I can't. I'm very rarely depressed. I'm coming out of a depression now because I was homeless for 19 months and I lost everything. I lost absolutely everything, including my partner as well. And I was grieving and I was hurt because I had to give up everything, and it was so painful to do it. And I literally could put all my life into one bag. I had no money, I had nothing, and so my mood descended. And what I found is, the lower it went, the more I started to get things coming at me. And there's a lot of nasty people as well out there. You can't call them demons, but I can call them low-level entities. I can call them what I like. But there are some people who thrive on your misery, and when you're feeling depressed, they will latch onto you and make you feel worse. And for this reason, I generally spend much of my time alone, because I can't be doing with horrible people. But as far as the entities go that are not in physical bodies, they really come at me when I'm low, and I do see them. I see them walk into people. I see them in my dreams. And I know people will say dreams aren't reality, but to me it's another level of reality. It is real, and you're in your dream body, and I think you're more susceptible to demonic attack when you're asleep, and that's when you're more likely to see the dead, when you're asleep, because you're on a different plane, you're on the astral plane. So I do believe that, I do, and I see things. I have very vivid dreams, and I get more out of my dreams than my waking days a lot. I work a lot of problems out in my dreams, but the demons are not to be feared. One thing I found is, if I look at them right in the eye and say, I love you, they can't stand it. A lot of people use the word in the name of Jesus, or in the name of God, or Allah, or whatever your religious belief is, but I've found that if you show love to something demonic, it can't cope with it. It really can't. And I've had one that was really resistant, and the more I said that I love you, the more stronger it got, and I started to doubt it, and I thought, oh no. And then all of a sudden it just went and it's gone. I was very ill a few years ago, to the point of I was dying, and I know I've got no doctor's notes to prove this, because I wouldn't go, because I don't trust the doctors. Because the night that I went home to die, basically, is the night that I was in A&E, and they said to me, we're going to keep you in and take your bowel out. And I said no, and they said, we're going to take it out, because I'd been constipated for like 9 weeks, and my stomach was out here, and I was ill. Oh God, I was ill, and I was dying, and I had so many health problems. So they wanted to take my bowel out, and I said no. I went home that night crying, and I thought, I'm going to die. I couldn't breathe. It was stopping me breathing properly. It was just horrendous. But I went home and did some research, and this is what changed my life. That night changed my life, because that's when I discovered the power of overdosing on vitamin C and magnesium and things like that. It flushes you out. I got better overnight. and this is after they were going to take my bowels out. I didn't get better full stop from my health problems. I had many. I had systemic candida, that's what was wrong. And doctors don't recognise that as an illness unless you have HIV or cancer. And that's what they told me, so they didn't believe me when I said I had that. But I don't need somebody else to affirm what I know about myself. So I don't need them to say yes you have or you haven't. I knew. But there was one particular night I was laid in bed and I was struggling to breathe really hard, and I could feel my life force leaving me. I could feel my spirit leaving my body, and I was so weak I couldn't be bothered to fight it. In fact, I was welcoming it. And all of a sudden I'm laid in the bed, and at the corners of the room, I'm telling you, they're the portals. And I don't know if it's the triangular shape or what it is, I don't know, but this thing just flew out of there at me. And I didn't see it, but I felt it. And it was a very dark, negative entity, and it came up to me, and I could sense it coming up to me, that. And I was taking my last breath, and I was dying, and I could feel it taunting me, and I knew it's going to take me. And then all of a sudden it jumped onto me, and it felt like an animal was sat on my shoulders, and it was ready to suck my life force out of my crown chakra. And I panicked, because at that moment I thought, if I let this thing take me, I'm either going to end up in a mental hospital for the rest of my life, or I'm going to end up dead, and it's going to take me to hell. And I couldn't allow it. And something inside me, from the deep down part of myself, screamed out, no, 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 no. And I felt it move up, and then I went, in the name of God, in the name of Jesus, get away from me. And it just shot to here. And then I said, you're not taking me. I don't belong to you. You're not having me. And I said, in the name of Jesus, leave me alone. And I'm not a Christian, but it worked, and it shut off. I know you're watching this thinking, you crazy cow. I don't care. I don't care. I have been laughed at my whole life, okay? And because of that, I've had to learn to get tough. I let people laugh at me. I let them have the mockery and make fun of me. That's up to you. But most people who laugh at me say that this thing, seeing is believing. And I say, well, if you saw what I did, would you believe me? And they went, well, if I experienced it, of course I would, because I've seen it for myself. And I said, right, so have I. And I said, if you experienced it for yourself and I came along and said, you're a liar, what would you say? And every time they say, if I've seen it, I believe it. And I say, oh, there you go. So I don't need affirmations from anyone. I don't need confirmation. I'm telling you what I know. And I'm only speaking personal. I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody else. I don't know everything. There's a lot of mystery. I constantly change my belief system. Like I said, I was brought up Christian. I went from Church of England to Jehovah's Witness to Get Away From Me, Everyone. I've done it all, not all, but my belief systems constantly evolve. But what doesn't change is my belief in what I see. So I have learned this. Not all beautiful things are good, and not all ugly is evil. You know, demons can come as angels, angels can be demons. That's what they do. Shape-shifting, call it whatever you like. I'm going to do other talks on things. I'm going to be talking about fairies. I'll be talking about all kinds of stuff. But this one was just a very quick one about demons and demonic attacks. And I've experienced them. I've seen it happen to other people. My dad was a classic one with his drinking. He was so frightening. My dad died at the age of 42 from alcoholism, but he was never right while I knew him. From the age of 5, my earliest memory, I was 4, 5, and he was never right. He was always depressed, he was always angry, he was always drinking, and just horrible really. But I've got a massive aversion to alcohol because of this. So I'm going to do lots of talks about all kinds of things. I might, if anybody is interested, I might go into more depth with each subject, but this is just a general overview of things. If you witness anything, what you think is demonic, if it makes you feel bad and it jars at you and things like that, then trust your own instincts. Don't listen to other people. If something feels wrong, it's wrong, okay? If something feels good, trust it, because it's your higher self knows more than anybody else. I've learned never to listen to other people, even my best friend. You listen to yourself. So I'm going to go because I think the postman's here. So I'm going to go and I'll do more videos. Bye.